new obsession, Brave Break, the new Phytosurgence Calm Conditions Lip Balms, highly endorsed by moi. Bought this with my own money, zero regrets, will be buying more. As you can see on me, this is like the perfect amount of zhuzh for a daily kind of lip look with zero effort. Feels really, really good to apply. I just talked about it on my Instagram stories because I love it so much. No surprise, Phytosurgence remains one of my top favorite brands, no matter what they do. I'm not like blindly devoted to anybody, any brand, no matter how much I love them. I'm always looking out at new things with a keen eye. But I have to tell you, in the tinted lip game, which is highly saturated right now, I will be rebuying this with my own money. That's how much I like it. So good job. I just jumped right in. Listen, this is going to be indicative of the kind of video that today's video is. I wanted to do a quick video talking a little bit about where I am with a few things that I've spoken on here about before. So where I am with my makeup journey, my makeup collection, my spending habits, my just where am I at? The last time I gave you kind of a formal update, of course, since then things have changed. I went on kind of an official no-buy back earlier in the year and then ended my no-buy, I would say, feeling really good about where I was at. Like I did reach the sort of like place that I wanted to reach with my no-buy, and I was feeling really good about it. And then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna take a little break. I want to open myself up again to being able to make purchases in a healthy way. So let me just pause my no-buy, or I didn't even pause it, I finished it, and let me, start a new journey. At this point, I was still tracking my purchases very religiously on a tracker. I was also sharing that tracker online with you guys on Instagram. Out of sheer laziness, that fell off the bandwagon. I've still continued to track my own purchases privately. I just haven't been sharing them publicly, not for any reason other than just being kind of lazy. Not to be like, I've got a lot going on, but life's busy, and I fell off of that a little bit. Right now, my beauty purchases are in a transition purely because my connection to beauty is changing, has been kind of changing. I feel like I went into this super intensive, somewhat obsessive mode when it came to indie eyeshadow. I fell in love with it after I discovered it, and I just went whole hog into that for a long time because it's a beautiful world, and it really opened up me as an art lover, me with an art background. Like, it opened up my world as far as what makeup could be, what it could look like, the kinds of places that it could go in a way that mainstream beauty wasn't doing. Even since that time of discovery, a lot's shifted. I think some more mainstream brands have, picked up on what indie's doing. I think a lot more indie brands are out there doing their thing. And it's a very intensely saturated market right now with a lot of people vying for their spot. In the last few years, I developed a pretty intense, what I would feel is intense, not by every makeup lover standards, but a pretty intense collection of really beautiful and amazing eyeshadow palettes, single shadows, etc. All of a sudden felt like I was hitting this wall where I had all of this beautiful stuff around me and I wasn't using any of it. It's just sitting there. It's not that I fell out of love with eyeshadow. It's not that I fell out of love with indie makeup. It's not that I didn't fall out of love with anything, but a little bit of that initial obsession had started to dip. My interest in beauty was shifting. I am getting more interested in other parts of the beauty space. I'm getting interested more in different types of products. My skin is changing. I'm getting a little bit older, and I'm feeling like what I want to do for my look is changing. I don't always want to wear a really intense heavy look or a really intense sparkly look or even a really intense any kind of look. I've just been shifting. I've been going through this kind of change and evolution. But when I started this channel, specifically on YouTube, a lot of the videos I was making were specifically about eyeshadow. My most successful video to date was all about my singles collection and my favorite singles. And so I almost felt guilty about the fact that I had invested so much time and effort and money into this industry, and then I was feeling like I needed to take a step back from it, or I wanted to just like go in a different direction slightly, and that all of this kind of goodwill that I'd built up, all of this effort that I'd put in was just kind of going to waste, and people were going to be like, what the fuck, Ivy? Like, we thought you were an eyeshadow girly. And I still am. It's not like you're suddenly going to see me stop wearing eyeshadow. I mean, come on. Like, I don't think that'll ever happen. I love it. But my place in the beauty world, my sense of the beauty sphere has been changing, and it just felt weird not to like formally kind of come on here and talk about it with the people that started following me, in large part, I would imagine, because of my love of the eyeshadow world, and specifically indie beauty. I wanted to tell you that, yes, you might see a change on this channel as far as the kinds of things you're seeing, kinds of videos that I'm making. I hope that that's okay. It's going to happen whether or not it's okay or not. But I did just kind of want to like check in and be like, yeah, I'm feeling in a different place, and I'm experimenting with different things. And it's not as though you're not going to see beautiful eyeshadow here, or me talking about a palette that I might be obsessed with, or a brand that I love, or an indie makeup brand that I just discovered. Like, I don't think that those things are going to go away, but I do think they're going to be more interspliced with other types of things, whether it's concepts about makeup and beauty that I want to talk about, or, you know, more of a deep dive on foundation. I don't know. It's not like I'm going to start buying tons of foundations. I don't have a roadmap. I don't have a plan. I didn't even go into this video with a plan, but I just wanted you to have a heads up. You might see some changes around here. I hope that you're still excited about hanging out with me and talking beauty, because the general, you know, world being beauty is not changing. I still love it. I still love it here. I still love it here, and I still want to be here. I just want it to be known that I'm going to be here in a slightly different way. So that's kind of a general update. The next thing is that because I started to feel very like guilty about my eyeshadow collection sort of being at this massive level, at least again for me, I have talked a lot, and it's still in the works, about doing a big declutter. And I realize that I'm going to come out of that declutter, I think, with quite a lot that I'm looking to pass on to new friends. Hopefully people will enjoy it as much as I have, or will enjoy it even more. And I don't like the idea of things just kind of sitting and going dormant. I really do want ultimately to be a person that uses the things that surround them. I don't want them to be there for display purposes only. I am going to have a large amount of things that are up for grabs, and I do want to get those out to the world as effectively as possible. Some of them have already been claimed by people that I know want them and that are waiting in the wings, but some of them are going to become bundles that I'm really excited about, that I will be, after the declutter video is finished and after everything's done, I will be putting up information on Instagram about some bundles of things, because I want to keep the mailing as limited as possible. There will be some bundles of like eyeshadow, probably mostly eyeshadow related things, available for purchase. I'm not promising you exactly when that's going to be coming your way, but I did want you to be aware. If you're an avid follower of mine, you love what you see, there might be some things that you're really excited about soon to be available for purchase. Okay, so those are my kind of like general housekeeping things that I wanted to update you on. The last thing is just that there are a few things that I'm loving right now that it feels like I'm going back in time saying that I love them. One, I'm really back into podcasts. I kind of fell out of love with them when I felt like they reached a peak point where just like all of a sudden every single person that you knew publicly had a podcast. Like, you know what I mean? I've come back around on podcasts. I'm like kind of back in that mode and journey, and there's a few that I'm really loving. I love Anything Goes with Emma Chamberlain. I love Call Her Daddy, which I'm new to. I know it's been around for a long time, but I'm new to. And I'm really excited for Owen Teal's new podcast on that like Unwell group. I love Pod Crushed, which is really, really fabulous if you haven't ever listened to them. Penn Badgley and his co-host Nava and Sophie, they do a really great podcast. And I've just kind of been discovering new things and listening to new people and finding it really satisfying again. I also, any of you who follow me on Instagram, I kind of fell down like a water bottle, cold coffee tumbler hole. That's another world that is just like so deeply saturated with like brands now, and so many of them are beautiful and attractive, and they've totally hit the nail on the head with like, yeah, this one's in gingham and this one's in blue and you're gonna love it, and you know, they're all the they're all the same. Of course, they're all the same. But my favorite brands, because I have done a little bit of a deep dive, I really do like Hydro Flask. I've kind of, I started like looking around. I have tried a few different brands, but for water specifically, for water bottles, I really like Hydro Flask. I got my kid a mini Hydro Flask. I've been a fan of those. And for the cold coffee tumblers, the Created Co ones, they often do collabs with other things. So I have one from the Chamberlain coffee line. I really like the cold cup tumblers or whatever they are with the straws from Created Co. Quality is great. Those have been kind of my like outcomes on that way. And then the other thing that I've fallen back in love with is reading, because reading is cool again. No, I'm somebody who as a kid read voraciously, just read all the time, loved reading. And as an adult, I have struggled with when and where and how to read. A book really has to hold my attention for me to not get super duper sleepy while I'm reading it. And usually my only time to read is before bed. And so it's like a recipe for disaster. I'm just like read 2 pages and I fall asleep. But I picked up the actoar. A lot of you are gonna know what I'm talking about. The actoar series. I just started the first book. I know from a lot of people now that is I know I'm 9 years late to the game, but I'm so excited to start this series, and to be excited about a book series for the first time in years feels incredible. I'm just super pumped about it. Like, I haven't been excited about reading in a while. I do love fantasy. I love fantasy books. I've always loved fantasy books. And I'm excited that there are so many books within this author's arsenal that I can enjoy, given that I really like this one. Reading is back on my radar again. Drinking cold coffee and water in reusable cups is back on my radar again. Listening to podcasts is back on my radar again. It's like it's 2015 over here. Like, I'm just having a great time. And makeup is still very much back on my radar. Still on my radar, never left my radar, but just in a slightly different way. The things that I'm focusing on are slightly different. I'm really excited to share with you as I keep going. So that's the update for now. That's the housekeeping for now. I hope that you're having a wonderful day, whatever you're doing, and that you're gonna have a great rest of your day, whatever you're doing next. And I cannot wait to see you in the next one. As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Consider subscribing. Promise to keep making videos if you keep hanging out. I'll talk to you soon.